Yes, guys, it's the day after the night before, and I can confirm to you that Forest are second after putting 2 past Everton and are now the only team in the Premier League to do a 5p in a row. Welcome to my thoughts on Everton 0, Forest 2. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to yet more happy clapping is the best way I can describe this. If you're still happy clapping yourself, make sure you've hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. We got a goal coming up at the earlier time today of 6:30 because obviously there's games going on in the evening. And yeah, I've been on streams already, a couple today, talking about how great we are, showing my chest. I'm becoming unbearable to the rest of the YouTube community, and they have to sit there and take it. Why? Because we are second, because we have Nuno, we have Milenkovic, Murillo, Morato, Wood, Elanga, you name them, we've got them. And this right now is a beautiful, beautiful time to be a Forest fan. It's hurting my face, man. The amount of smiling I've been doing over these last few weeks. It's the worst thing I have to complain about is the pain of a smile. We forgot what a smile was like, apart from obviously when we got promoted. But this is now starting to feel like Forest are back where they belong. And the question being asked is, can Forest sustain it? Can Forest stay where they are now? Would it be, as some of the other fan bases are saying, would it be a massive bottle job if Forest were to blow the position they're in and end up missing out on Europe? What do you guys think on that one? I want to do a bit of analysis on yesterday's game, though, before we get into many other things. And don't worry, we've got a transfer update coming for you guys tomorrow. If you want to know the latest on Einar, there will be a Patreon video out today, exclusive there to start with, so make sure you check that out. And a Murillo update as well. So there's loads coming up on the channel, and we are about to get into the transfer window. So let's just quickly touch on the Everton game before we talk about a few other things. That performance for me was one of the easiest, I have to say. I don't feel we needed to get out of second gear. And, you know, I feel sorry a bit for the Everton fans because they're enduring what we had to, or maybe I'll speak on my behalf, I had to endure under Steve Cooper's tenure, which was turgid football, which was, you know, no real identity, no real patterns of play or anything like that. And I think Everton fans yesterday, that game would hurt them more, even though they've drawn with the likes of Man City, Arsenal and Chelsea. Losing to Forest, even with that run of form they've had, will hurt them more. And I think the main reason if they deep it is because in Forest, they would have seen yesterday what they ideally would like to see at Everton in terms of an identity, a style of play, etc., etc. But I wish them all the best. They are our PSR brothers. I hope they stay up. But we're here for the Forest. We're here for the Forest. Look, a couple of shout outs have to go to Morato for me. He was very close to man of the match. In fact, I probably would have given him man of the match personally. I know you guys just gave it to Morgan Gibbs-White, and deservedly so. But Morato is now becoming a very, very important piece in this jigsaw puzzle. Because could you imagine the scenes last season if Murillo got injured just before kickoff? And we're like, oh crap, who's going to come in? Now, don't get me wrong. I love Willy Bolly. I love Omar Bamadeli. But would you have felt as confident with them coming on as the likes of Morato, who's just an absolute beast? And he came on and, for me, put in one hell of a performance. And the rest of the team together just seem to have this never say die attitude, this almost air of arrogance about him. It's like, you lot want the ball, keep the ball. You ain't breaking us down. And if you do manage to break us down, Sells is in sensational form right now. I'm not his biggest fan in terms of style. That's the best way I can describe it. I like a Samba kind of goalkeeper, one, you know, with a bit of the old S-housery. That's my kind of style. But that does not mean I don't think Sells is a good keeper. Yes, he does kick the ball long a lot. That does frustrate me a little bit. But you've got to give the man props and flowers for what he's doing, especially in that period before him, where we had bloody Mr. Turner, who is still on the Forest books. Palace, by the way, I hope he's doing a great job for you. And if you want to sign him, just give me a call. Just give me a call. So everything's ticking nicely. And I honestly, for the life of me, can't find anything to complain about or be worried about or what have you. And something I was saying on Never a Foul this morning was, we've done all of this with our 6 and 8 out from the start of the season in terms of Danilo and Sangare. Yet you'll see fan bases like Tottenham, for example, crying because their 2 centre-backs are out. Other teams crying because they're missing players. Pointless Brentford crying because they're missing players as well. Yet the difference is we just got on with it. Nuno is like, all right, problem. But in his favourite word, solutions. We'll find some solutions for it. And he cracks on, finds the solutions, sorts Forest out. And I want to talk about Elanga. Elanga, for me, has completely turned it around in the last 3 or 4 games. I'm so happy for him. I feel like he's simplified football again, which is what he needed to do. He needed to play the role of his position correctly. And that's all that needs to happen. Look, I'm going to say being a winger is one of the easiest positions. I know it's not, but hear me out. If you stick to your task as a winger, get the ball, take on the fullback, get to the byline, get the cross in, cut in at the right times, look for your striking partner. You know, these are the simple kind of fundamentals you need to be doing as a winger. And if you're blessed with natural pace and things like that, it makes your life a lot easier. And that's been my frustration for about a year with Elanga, is he hasn't been doing the simple things and he's been trying to overcomplicate football when football is a simple game. And that goal with Woods yesterday, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, we're creating goals that people have not seen before. Name me in the chat. Maybe some of you guys can think of an example where you've had an assist with a double header. It's like tennis, man. Header back, volley, finesse it over the keeper. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful goal. And then I think the other thing I want to talk about is Morgan Gibbs-White. Morgan Gibbs-White has been subject of a lot of criticism probably over the season so far. And I think he's now coming back into true Morgan Gibbs-White form. I've backed him. I know that Ant, for example, hasn't been his greatest fan, but I think even he's conceding what a great set of performances he's putting together. His shooting is still woeful. I mean, one of the shots yesterday was horrific. But when he's in that box, when he's driving the defense back with his dribbling, when he's picking out passes like we saw last week for Elanga against Spurs, when you see him sit Decore on his ass with that cutback, with that beautiful bit of skill, when he's doing those skills in the right end of the pitch, do more of it for all I care. You are absolutely entitled to do it. And when he produces a goal like that, you've got to just tip your cap off to him. And credit again for that goal needs to go to Elanga, because after the poor pass by Decore, he was the first to react. And credit needs to go to Chris Wood as well. Most strikers would have shot on the edge of that box. He puts through a lovely ball to Morgan Gibbs-White. Everything right now is so hunky-dory. It's so nice, man. I haven't had a heart flutter in about 6 months. But the question is it sustainable? And the answer for me has to be, well, one, obviously we don't know. But if we kind of analyze the evidence that we've seen on the pitch, there are a lot of positives to take. Most people are likening us to Villa's run a year ago, or to Newcastle's run 2 years ago when they pushed for the Champions League. And I do see similarities, but I see advantages to Forest. The big advantage is we currently don't have European football. So our commitments are left to the league matches and the FA Cup match, which, let's be honest, how much of a burden is a crappy Luton team going to be to Forest? So we don't have that 3 games a week scenario currently, and we probably won't this season. And I see that as a huge advantage. The other big talking point that people aren't making much of a fuss about is the away games we've already played. We've gone away to Anfield, to Stamford Bridge, to Old Trashford, to the Etihad, to not Highbury, what they called Emirates. All those big so-called clubs, we've already played them away. And those hard ones are going to be back. Oh, the reverse fixtures will be back at the City Ground. I see that as an advantage. But let's touch on this away form. Let's not forget under Cooper, we only won 2 away games in the Premier League, 1 per season, Southampton and Chelsea. And right now, have you guys forgotten what it was like for those 2 years when Forest were away from home? A point would feel like a win. Yet now, I honestly am more comfortable when we're playing away because I know Nuno will nail the tactics. And more times than not, he has done this season. It's a complete turnaround. He fixes the set piece issue. He fixes the away record issue. He fixes everything, man. I mean, what a man. What a man. What are you guys feeling now, though? Realistically, where did Forest finish? I predicted 8th at the start of the season. I now think 5th is very, very realistic. And that should be Champions League football. We're going to hear that music. I hope so. Don't say jinxery. Don't forget, tonight at 6:30 we'll be on Happy Old Reds, as it is now being dubbed. If you haven't already, please don't forget to hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. Please do subscribe to our second channel, the Footy Network, as well. And remember, if you want that Einar and Murillo update, it will be over on Patreon first. We'll see you on Grumpy Old Reds tonight. Come on, you Reds.